On our second series, we're working on basic strikes. When we've gone over the punching, we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Jab, the cross, the hook punches, and the uppercuts. Now we're going to work on close, working in off of the punch into the elbow. We can work right elbow. Now working the elbow, I try to keep my left hand in tight. If you're close enough to throw the elbow, so is your opponent or your training partner. So what I'm trying to do is here, I'm trying to work the elbow, the hard bone part, into the upper part. Working on the bag, drop it down. You're trying to keep your shoulders in tight. I keep my palm open as I throw it over the top, keeping my left hand pressed against the side of my head, like I'm on the phone. Right elbow. Be careful that you keep your head centered in the middle, that you don't roll to one side. Otherwise you'll throw your body weight off. Right elbow. I'm throwing it from the shoulder. Notice I have to use my hip to move. Right elbow. Applied to the bag and working over the top. Right elbow. Keep your head down in the center. Keep your hands still in. You've got the basic foot position now. You can work with jab, right elbow. Drive the elbow into the top of the bag. Off the jab, elbow. Here, you want to make sure you keep your head nice and protected with your shoulders. Making sure that you get the bone into the bag. Stick it into the bag so it's a solid piece. Don't hit your forearm, otherwise it could bruise. You can use a hooking elbow. Like the hook punch, you're ringing it across. So you're peering over the top of your arm. Again, my left hand is collapsed against the side of my head. Boom, just like this. I roll my hip into it. That's the right hook elbow. You can come over the top. Depending on the hand position of your opponent. Hook over the top. Focus on keeping your elbows in and your head protected. Again, this is a close. For when you're very close to the bag. You can use left, your lead. Same as the hook punch. Roll it straight over. I'm putting pressure on the ball of my foot and turning my hip. Left hook elbow. I fold up the arm like it's one piece and roll it over with my shoulder. Protecting my head with my right hand. On the bag, left hook elbow. Into a combination, you can go left hook elbow. Right over the top, rainbow elbow. Trying to go from left to right. To keep it basic, you wind up. 1, 2. Keeping your head protected. Hands in against the eyebrows. If you're close enough to throw the elbow, so is your opponent. On the elbows, using your lead, your left, you can come up the middle. Uppercut elbow, left. You're focusing on driving your elbow into your opponent's upper region. Preferably his face. On the bag, you just got to measure where your head is. Considering on how tall you are, you're going to measure the head. Uppercut elbow with the left. Drive your left elbow as your arm is closed up, forward to the target. Again, I'm using the power of my hip to motion to go in. Combination, left uppercut elbow, right rainbow elbow. I'm trying to keep my head and my shoulders protected with this right here. Relax. Not flexing up your arms, but relax with your hands up. Elbows in. Elbows. Right rainbow. Right hook. Left uppercut. Left hook. Make sure when you're throwing the elbows, you keep your arms in tight. I try to relax the palm of my hand. coming from the motion of my hip still. There's variations on the elbow. Considering on the openings you have on your opponent, you can spin with the elbow. You can come up the middle with the elbow. You can come over the top with the elbow. You can jump with the elbow. You can move straight in the elbow. You can use angles on the elbow. Close quarter fighting with the elbow, Muay Thai style. Now, the basic moves for the elbow. We've worked off the hook elbows, the uppercut elbows, the rainbow. Now we're going to work on spin. Using your momentum and the momentum of oncoming opponent, you can spin. You're going to take a step, a slight step with a pivot in it. Step. The key here is you want to make sure you rotate your head over so you're looking over your opposite shoulder. So if you're leading with your left leg in front, step and point your left heel. Boom. You're going to step with your left leg to the right and point your heel. Pivot your head over. That's key here. You have to be able to see your target over your shoulder. From here, you wound up to spin. You're still using the momentum of your hips, but now you're using the momentum of your hips and the momentum of an oncoming opponent. Spinning elbow. Using your right, you can come up the middle. Again, I'm going to take that step. It's a step with a half pivot in it. Rotate my head. Uppercut up the back. Elbow. Working off the spin, you can come over the top with it. Step with the pivot. Over the top. Again, you're focusing on driving the elbow with your arm locked to the head region. From here, you can go into full combination. You can throw the punch first and then go to the elbow. You can use the spin. Making sure that you don't telegraph your movement. Try to make the step and pivot simultaneous with the head rotation. So then you see your target before you let the elbow go. Break it down into steps if it's easier. If you start off with a full spin from the get-go, you're going to get yourself dizzy. So start slow. Break it down into parts. 1 would be the step, 2 is the turn, 3 is the head. From there you can pick which elbow you want to use. Over the top. Under. Or straight over. Make sure you keep your arm in a locked position so your elbow is flexed out. You're trying to get that hard part against the soft parts of the face. Making the fight a shorter fight and close. Quarter fight. Elbows. Now incorporating a partner into basic strikes of Muay Thai, we're going to use the Thai pads, and with Tony holding them, we're going to incorporate punching first. Jab. Making sure that I don't lunge in on my lead leg or let the hit come from my hip. Keeping my right hand in with the elbow in like I'm on the phone. It's extending straight out. My shoulder's protecting my chin. I exhale through my nose. And I still have the basic foot position. Going from the jab, I'm going to go to cross. Jab, cross. I threw my hip into the punch by pivoting my toe, but not raising my foot up off of the floor. Jab, cross. 2 basic punches. Making sure that I keep my elbows in the whole time. I'm going to go for left hook now. I'm going to turn, pivoting my foot. Hook. I turn by winding up for the hook, putting my right hip into the middle. By placing pressure on the ball of my right toe, I turn the hip to the center. Keeping my right hand up with the elbows in. I transfer the weight from the base leg to the lead foot and turn my knee in, not pivoting my foot. The punches are still, remember, coming from the hips. So I throw left hook. Again, the shoulders, boom, parallel here with the floor and protecting my chin. My head's still in. As I exhale, the punch comes off. left hook. In sequence, jab, cross, hook. Off that combination, I can throw a numerous amount of my arsenal.